Good day, everyone. Today we're going to have an overview of the processes of our collection partners. But before that, let's have a recap of our past discussions. From this illustration of loan life cycle, we were already done on the first 4 stages, namely loan solicitation, credit underwriting, loan documentation, and loan servicing. Today's topic is focused on the 5th stage, which is the collections activity done by our partners from collections department. The Collections Department is part of the Loan Services and Recovery Division that caters to any post-booking services for past due retail loans of the bank. They conduct collection activities such as contacting, collecting, curing, clearing past due loans, and even charging off non-performing loans based on the standards prescribed by the credit policy and risk management and in compliance with regulators. They also mitigate potential losses of the bank by offering financial programs. To better understand their function, let's define some basic collection principles. First, what is a past due obligation? A past due obligation is the amount of principal and/or interest or installment due that is not paid on their due date. An account shall be considered past due when any principal and/or interest or installment due or portions thereof are not paid on their contractual date. The unpaid portion is the past due amount. Next is a curing period. A curing period is a time given to the bank to collect a client's unpaid monthly installment. A consumer loan has a maximum cure period of 30 days. If the bank was not able to collect after the curing period lapses, the account is reported as past due. A loan is considered non-performing if the bank no longer earns an income from the account. The accrual of interest stops once an account is tagged as non-performing loan. The interest accrual will only continue once NPL is reverted to current status. When does an account become a non-performing loan? A consumer loan is considered a non-performing loan based on the following criteria. If loan is unpaid for 91 days after due date, if it's classified as doubtful or loss, if a loan is tagged as items in litigation, or if a loan is impaired under existing accounting standards. Now you may ask if it's possible to revert a non-performing loan back to a performing loan? The answer is yes, if it satisfies both of the following conditions. First, if the bank has established sufficient evidence of probable full repayment of principal and interest, and second, when client has settled at least 6 months of consecutive payments of interest and/or principal. Now, how do we identify the past due status of an unpaid loan installment? There is what we call a technical past due and a real past due. A loan is said to be in technical past due if there is a delay or failure to remit, accept, or recognize payment for a loan from a borrower who has exercised due diligence in paying his loan obligation, samples of which are presented on this table. On the other hand, a real past due occurs when the payment of the loan or amortization was not made as of its scheduled date or settled only after the due date. When payments are received, it shall be applied to the loan based on the following hierarchy of payments. Collections also have a centralized support unit called the Shared Services Unit that aids collectors in sending emails, demand letters, and other related documents. Once a loan is tagged as an NPL, the bank sets aside an allowance for uncollected loan payment called loss provisions, which is used to cover for a number of factors associated with loan losses such as filing of legal cases in case of client's default. Loss provisions also serves as a way to monitor the health of the bank's portfolio, which means that a lower loss provision entails a healthier portfolio. Collection efforts are categorized into buckets. For buckets of 1 to 60 days past due, front-end collections handles the account and notifies borrowers of their overdue account via phone calls and notices. Buckets with 61 to 180 days past due are handled by Remedial Collections, who identifies and implement repayment plans to prevent foreclosure or repossession. For over 180 days past due, these are buckets being endorsed for filing of foreclosure or repossession to Acquired Asset Management Department. Late payment charges or LPCs are assessment of penalty charges as long as the monthly installment or any unpaid portion of the amount due remains unpaid. The bank charges 5% of the monthly installment or any unpaid portion of the amount due for auto loans and 3% for the monthly installment or any unpaid portion of amount due for housing loans. When are penalties reduced or waived? LPCs and penalties are reduced or waived based on its classification as technical or real past due. With the exception of items in litigation, total waiver of LPCs for real past due accounts will not be allowed. It can only be reduced based on the client's circumstances. However, for technical past due accounts, full waiver of penalty charges is given. These are the available recommended workout options that Remedial Collections provide for clients. Payment arrangements, loan takeout, loan reprieve, restructuring packages such as pay break, term extension, short-term interest payments only, and voluntary surrender. If all the workout options are exhausted and borrower still fails to settle the loan obligation, the account will be referred for appropriate legal action. The bank can file for foreclosure for chattel mortgage and real estate mortgage once an account reaches 120 days past due. More about legal remedies and managing of acquired assets will be discussed on our next episode. Thank you and be nice always.